My ex-husband, who cheated on me with my sister, emailed me after 6 years. I, 33 female, met my ex-husband, Dan, 40 female, almost 15 years ago at a restaurant when I was celebrating my 18th birthday. He was really nice, charming, and mature. He made me feel loved and special. For some context, I grew up in a dysfunctional family. My mom and dad used to always fight. My dad would sometimes go out and not come back for months. He died when my sister Abby, 25 female, was born. My mom was way too fond of Abby since birth, rather than me. Abby was basically babied by my mother. She didn't neglect me at all, always did her best as a mother and provided for me, but I always felt something missing. After Dan came into my life, I didn't feel like there was anything missing. He supported me, he took care of me, he would always buy me gifts and take me out on long drives. I felt complete when I was with him. We got married after 4 years. I wanted to start a family right away, but Dan encouraged me to do my master's and help me build my career. He wanted us to be in a stable position financially before we start thinking about kids. Seriously, he was the best guy I could ever ask for. After 5 years of being happily married, I discovered that my husband was cheating on me with Abby. I discovered the affair when my husband made an excuse that he'll go out of town for a week, but he stayed in town and he booked a hotel room where he and Abby can have sex.
Wow.
This has been going on for 6 months behind my back. I was really devastated. Abby and I were close growing up. I loved her and I cared for her. How could she do this to me? After the D-Day, Dan and I had a fight, and I asked how he could do this to me. That too, with my sister who just turned 19.
Oh.
He said he didn't love me anymore, that I don't give him enough attention, that I'm not the same girl he fell in love with. Between this mess, I discovered that I was pregnant. But due to the stress, I lost the baby.
Oh.
He didn't even care to visit me at the hospital when I lost our child. He was having a weekend getaway with my sister. I should have seen the signs. Abby would always be really touchy with Dan. Dan would always stare at her. But it was still very disturbing for me. My mother, as usual, took Abby's side and told me to just make peace with it. I wanted to kill myself because I had no one left. I lost my child and my husband, my whole family. Then my best friend Tina, my savior, came to my rescue. She was moving to another state and asked me to come with her. I said yes. I was already divorced at that point and we lived in a small town, so I would obviously run into my ex and my sister. It took me a little while to settle into my new life in a different state, but I met some kind people there. It helped me heal my trauma. I still have trust issues. I met my now husband, Tony, 32, after 1 year of moving to the new place.
Shout out, Tony.
Shout out. I was really hesitant and kept my guard up, but he showed me that he is trustworthy and loves me a lot. I was so happy with him that I almost forgot about the life that I had back in my hometown. His parents were really welcoming and generous people. We got married a year ago, and I'm now pregnant with our first child. Yesterday, I got an email from my ex, Dan. It just brought back all the memories.
Oh, no.
I'm just paraphrasing his email, but he mentioned that he misses me. He tried to find me but couldn't. He's very miserable with my sister, that she's dumb and doesn't care about him like I do. I used to bake him a cake and throw him birthday parties, but Abby only texted him happy birthday and didn't even bother to buy him a cake. Plus, she's very rude and she doesn't respect him. She's always at the bar with her friends. He also mentioned that she cheated on him 5 times already. The last affair...
5 times is wild.
The last affair was with his cousin. Our mother doesn't stop her. He will soon file for divorce, but lately he's been missing me a lot. He wants us to try again as a couple. He wants us to become a family just like before. Since I do not have social media except for Instagram, which is private, he probably doesn't know that I'm married and I have a baby on the way. I just don't know if I should feel pity for him or just laugh because the grass on his side is very brown rather than green. And then there's a few updates. So, update is, I just wanted to say thanks to all who messaged me and showed support. I've decided to send him an email and be done with it. It goes like this. Dan, I'm so sorry to hear that you're suffering, but there is no way I would be with you. Yes, there was a time when I used to be that girl who would have taken you in a heartbeat, but that girl is not there anymore. That girl has died the day that I had a miscarriage, and you were somewhere shacking up with my sister. I called you, but you never picked up. I'm married to a wonderful man who loves me and cherishes me. I'm also pregnant with our first child. I'm beginning this new chapter of my life with someone I love and care deeply about. So please do not contact me ever again. You made your choice. You chose my barely legal sister over me. I do not care if she cheats on you or doesn't respect you. Someone like you doesn't deserve loyalty and respect anyways. I left my old life in my old town, and it will be best for you to move on and have some self-reflection on yourself. You're just a deeply insecure man who's getting old and thought having a young woman would be good by your side. Goodbye.
She ate.
She did. And then
No
update
crumbs.
number
No
2.
crumbs.
No crumbs.
A lot of you have been asking me what he replied. Well, he did reply. Within an hour of me emailing
Yeah,
him,
he did. This dude was he's like, refresh.
he said that he was stupid enough to believe that I would still wait for him. And he said that he would always wait for me because no matter what, I will always be his baby doll. I cringed so hard. He used to call me that, but now it feels repulsive. I also got an email from my mom and my sister. My mom just congratulated me and was excited that she's going to be a grandmother. And my sister also did the same and said that she'll be the cool aunt. I cannot believe these people.
They're trying to paper over it.
They forgot how they treated me when I needed them and moreover betrayed me. I cried for a long time because I've been reading your comments and it seems like me and my sister were groomed by that man. I feel so stupid. I know I shouldn't have been mad at my sister, but she was old enough to know that it's bad to have an affair with a married man.
Yeah, that's basic 101.
Yeah.
That to someone who is your sister's husband. I blocked all of them. I'm 5 months pregnant already. I don't need any more stress. God bless my husband. He comforted me when I cried and later took me out for ice cream. I hope I can post more. Okay, so final update. I'm cooled down now. I think I can make a more elaborate update. Thanks to everyone who has shown me support. I needed it. The email from him, my ex, just struck me like a train. I had flashbacks on everything he had done to me. I think you guys deserve a more detailed update. So after I sent the reply email, he replied within a few hours, and with the one thing that I said in update 2. A few hours later, I got 2 other emails from my mom and my sister. They sent me my old email address that I hardly use. I don't know how they knew about my pregnancy. I try to keep a low profile. I still haven't even posted my baby bump pics on social media or made any announcements. I only have Instagram to follow my friends, but it just scared me. I broke down crying on the spot. Luckily, my husband Tony was around. He held me and put me on the couch. He knows everything about me. I never hid anything from him. I was a little bit scared that my mom and my sister would find me. He reassured me that I'm hundreds of miles away from them. I mean, we're on the opposite part of the country. He took me out for ice cream to comfort me. It took 2 ice cream cones to finally calm me down. I told him about my concerns and that my mom and sister might demand to see my baby. It's a girl. He told me that he would talk to his uncle, who's a police officer, to be on the lookout for them. Even if they come here and force themselves on you, he would fight for it. He's going to consult his lawyer friend about this matter, and he told me not to worry about my ex. He can't harm me anymore. My husband even made a joke that he would move countries if he had to. Lastly, someone in my post commented that I should alert the daycare about my mom and sister if they plan to steal my baby. Well,
Wait, what?
She's very worried about her family.
I feel like that's a jump.
Stealing is wild.
Well, we aren't planning to put her in daycare, even though I'm currently working. I decided I would quit my job and look after my baby and focus on healing from giving birth. I do have a good amount of savings in my personal bank, and this is my own decision. I'll go back to work when our little princess is a little bit older. My in-laws are amazing. My mother-in-law and father-in-law live nearby. They're both good people and offered to help with my child. Also, don't worry, apart from my in-laws, I have a good support system. Tina and her wife, Jenny, basically adopted me. They're really good people and always help me. I don't know what will happen in the future, but at least I'm surrounded by some good people that I never had growing up. Now I will take your leave and enjoy my husband pampering me. If something big happens, I'll keep you guys updated. And my ex and sister and mother are all blocked.
I think it's time I give you guys a little bit of an OCD update. This past summer, my OCD was like the worst it has been in probably since I was like in 6th grade. And I didn't want to share that with you guys at the time because I genuinely had no solution and I felt like I was fucking drowning every single day. So I just kind of put on like a brave face and I was like, once I get through it, I'll give you guys the tips that helped me and I'll share a little bit of what I was struggling with. OCD is just like, if I don't touch something, I feel like something bad's gonna happen. That's when the intrusive thoughts come in and things like that. Like if I don't touch this specific thing, this is gonna happen. It could be a fucking tree. It could be Sissy's nose. It could be the weirdest shit in the entire world. I'll get that over overwhelming feeling, like something, I have the exact thought in my head, but like I don't want to say it, but it's like a fucked up thought. And it changes every single time. If I don't do this, then this is gonna happen, or I have to do this or that. It's my OCD just being fucking nuts. This summer, it got so bad to the point that I would go back to places after out, and this is like really hard for me to admit, I'm not gonna lie. Let's say I saw something in Whole Foods like that morning, I couldn't stop thinking about it. My OCD was so bad, I felt like I had to go back there and like touch it and get it over with. That's not a fucking way to live life, to like go back and feed into a compulsion because you've been thinking about it for 6 hours. But like that's where I was at. I was at an all-time low with my OCD. Actually was getting so bad. I was like in my head, like, do I need to go back to, like, my biggest fear ever is going back to the psych ward. I was feeling like so not in control of my OCD. And I was like, this is just getting so fucking bad that like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't know what to do. Now let's get into what I did do. Number one, when my OCD gets so horrible like that, I have to like look around at the situation and the environment that I'm in. The therapist brought up a really good point. She was like, before you moved to New York, your OCD was really like that bad too, probably because your energy just had outgrown that city. You were just overwhelmed trying to get out. And I was like, okay, this is probably the same thing with New York because I was moving to LA in a couple months. Like my energy and my body knew I was like supposed to be in LA already, but like I wasn't. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Just like I wasn't doing well with the environment that I was in, so my OCD was acting up terribly. Here are some things that helped me. Number one, I doubled down on therapy. I was like, I have to go back to therapy and I have to like talk through this kind of thing. And my therapist gave me some really good things. She was like, that's just the past version of yourself trying to like creep up again. And my OCD obviously is like a lack of control. Like when I don't feel like I have any control over anything, like you're gonna see me touch. Like you're gonna see me touch a lot of things. So I had to keep that in mind. Just being open with my friends and family about it. Like I feel a lot of shame from my OCD, and the people that made me feel more shameful, I was like kind of getting away from them, just being like, stop doing that. Why the fuck do you have to do that? It's like, bitch, it's mental illness. If I could explain it, I'd be a fucking billionaire. If I had a cure, I'd be a billionaire, bitch. I also upped my meds. And after feeling so much shame about it, I kind of was like, you know what? Fuck that. No, I'm going to embrace the chapter that I'm in. I'm working through really bad OCD right now. I'm not going to let it define me, and I'm not going to like make myself feel fucking shitty about that. But I did have to stop going back to places and doing the compulsion, which was really fucking hard, obviously. And it was just honestly sticking through the compulsions. And to do that, I did like a lot of meditations, or I even just tried to get my mind off of things. Just like reminded myself of the times that I didn't go back and touch something, like everything was fine. Those horrible thoughts didn't come true. And like just embracing where I was at and just being like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm struggling with. It's so easy to fall into like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like I feel terrible kind of thing. And I didn't feel great, but I was like, I'm not going to let that like define me. If that makes any sense, like I'm not going to let my OCD take over my life. And I'm still going to do the things that I don't want to do. Like, obviously I don't want to go to fucking Whole Foods because I want to touch everything. I'm going to go to Whole Foods. I'm not going to touch anything. And I'm just going to it's like, I was kind of like, we got to suffer through it, bitch. We got to suffer through it. As I moved to California, I did see my OCD get significantly better. And I really don't have an answer as to why it did. I think I really did. I was just outgrowing New York, and it was hard for me to stay in an energy like that. But also I was just more strict on myself about the compulsions and things. I was like, don't touch, you're not doing that. I know your brain is telling you to do that. Your brain's fucking lying to you. Your anxiety's lying to you. You don't need to do that. I really do feel like I'm in a 1,000,000% better place. Like I still obviously struggle with my OCD. Like, did I get up and touch my mirror in the middle of the night? Apparently I fucking did last night. No, it was like before I went to bed. Like, and that wasn't necessary and I should have fought through it. But like, I still have my moments, obviously. But it's just, I want you to know if you're really like struggling with your OCD that that's okay. You know, you probably feel really alone, and it's a really lonely mental illness, but just know that like you're not alone. It genuinely does get better. You just have to figure out what works for you. Even though it honestly doesn't always feel like it's gonna get better, I promise you it will. Time, healing, whatever works for you to make yourself feel better, just really put the emphasis on doing that.
I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, and my eldest brother is already married. My other brother is going to also have an arranged marriage, and he says he's okay with that. But in the meantime, he's still dating other girls and making it seem like he's serious about them, but then he will discard them later. My friend likes my brother, and he knows that, and is now dating her. My friend is half Indian and from her mom's side is from another social class, so my parents would never consider her. My parents are already in the talks with her family, and my brother has been chatting with that girl online. He will probably go back home to meet her this fall. My brother has my friend convinced he will marry her once they are done university. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I did, and I told my parents and my brother's plan to have an arranged marriage. She was crying because she had already given her virginity to my brother. A week later, my brother comes to me mad because my friend broke up with him, and in their argument made it clear she knew he was going to go through marrying another girl and is just stringing her along.